Welcome to the Table Rant. I almost said I'm Mia. I'm Chris. This is Mia. This is our weekly review on Power. 2 weeks in a row, I don't have much to say about Power. I don't know about you, but I mean, they're not bad episodes in my opinion. They're just kind of like they're setting something up. I mean, it's just like, oh, and if you can hear Bailey in the background, she's in her kennel. She's not a fan of having been in her kennel.
Bailey is a puppy.
Yeah.
Because they don't know.
Yeah, they do. She's unofficial. If you watch the podcast, you know that Bailey's the unofficial mascot of the podcast. So yes, watch the podcast. But yes, Bailey doesn't want to be in her kennel. So if you hear her whining in the background, that's Bailey.
Sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, 2 episodes in a row. Power was kind of underwhelming. I mean, I feel like they're setting some stuff up. And you need those type of episodes for...
You're saying episode 2 and 3?
2 and 3, yes. You need those type of episodes to set up something big in the future, but as so far, these last 2 episodes they weren't bad episodes, they just were kind of, you know.
I agree that they are setting stuff up, but I think that they're trying to... create an opportunity for you to like think one thing's gonna happen and then something else completely happens. Mm-hmm. Like I think they're trying to make sure that it's not predictable because this last episode, I definitely think it's not that in your face. Like they're making us think one way about somebody, and it is not that in your face. It's not. So
yeah, I mean, I guess we can start off with the big reveal. Teresi may or may not have snitched on Tommy. Teresi may or may not have been using Tommy to get him to leverage himself to get out of jail, which he is a member of the mob, and Radin is not necessarily. I mean, you're not allowed to snitch when you're in the mob. But, and I could be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure the rule is you can't snitch on people that are part of the mob. So,
Bailey.
If you can't snitch on people that are part of the mob, and Tommy's not in the mob, so it's just like, if he snitches on him, you know, is it really that? It's not really going to fall back on him.
I mean, I'm not going to lie and say that I never questioned why he just showed up in Tommy's life anyways, or why he decided to make himself a factor all of a sudden. But then based off of what he said when he was like, you know, I've been laying this track down this whole time, it does make me wonder, like, dang, is that really why he came in? But then at the same time, I just feel like there's no way that this man has been serving this much time, and now all of a sudden he's like, I can snitch.
I think he's okay with snitching because he knows his wife is getting ready to die, so he's trying to do everything he can to get out of jail. That way he can spend her last few days with her. So I think that the reason why he would want to snitch would be because of her, but on your own son is...
But he said, he was like, oh, he hasn't told you the only reason I'm in here is because I'm not a snitch. And I highly doubt that they were like, well, I mean, we know about Tommy. And he was like, you know what, maybe I should take this opportunity to snitch. I think he was just like, I'm just going to play the game and make it work to my advantage. But there's no way that he just played a game and was able to get out. Like, he would still be locked up.
Yeah. He would, I mean, he had to have told them something. He had to tell them
something to get out of it. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
What I'm hoping, because I like Teresi as a character, what I'm hoping is he told them that he's going to, like, set Tommy up, but ultimately goes back on it. I'm hoping that's what it is.
Agreed.
Or maybe he ratted on someone else that's not Tommy. We'll find. I guess we'll find out in future episodes, but let's move away from that, because that was the bigger story on the episode. Some of the smaller stories were Ghost and Lorenz Tate. I can never remember his character's name.
Tate.
I can never remember his character's name. They're trying to get investors for their project, and Ghost definitely smashed somebody in order to get the money.
Yeah, it's Fancy from Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, she'll always be Fancy.
Garcelle.
Yeah, no, her name is Fancy.
It's Fancy from Jamie Foxx. Yeah, and it goes to show right there, like, that moment plays off of Tasha saying that Ghost has been really reckless and he's been messy because Tate told him the reason that she pulled back at the first meeting was because she was worried about your professionalism.
Yeah.
You smashing her confirmed her suspicions. Now, I feel like she went a very roundabout way to try to confirm suspicion by saying, oh, okay, well, let me just go ahead and get it in with him.
Took her ring off.
Yeah. But, and that was a big old ring. Oh, okay, so that goes to show that when Tasha was saying he's being really reckless, he's being really messy, that right there showed he is being reckless because at this point he's trying to do whatever he can, like, to get what he wants at any means possible. It's not calculated anymore. Like, he's starting to move like Tommy.
Yeah. And I feel like Ghost doesn't really even care about the project. I think he's just doing something like, you know, like they say, like, I don't mind. It's like the devil's playground. So I think more than anything, he's just trying to do something. Because I feel like...
I think he's just trying to keep himself busy.
That's what I mean.
In regards to the fact that Raina died. So it's like, let me do something that surrounds Raina or something because I'm trying to make up for...
I mean, what is he really doing? Because it's like...
I don't even understand what the project is.
I guess they're building something in Queens to buy back the hood. I mean, let's not forget that Lorenz Tate's character...
Something. What is the something?
Lorenz Tate character is a politician, so he's clearly trying to use that to get votes in the future. But yeah, so... really wasn't a ghost-centric episode. I think he only had like two scenes, really. He had the scene with Tommy and Kanan, and the scene with when he maybe three. The scene when they're at the club, then the scene where he smashed Fancy. But other than that,
and the scene with the detective.
Oh, I mean, but he wasn't even the star of that scene. It was all about the detective and Tyreek, who is still a fuck nigga. He finally admitted to his mom that he did see that Raina got shot.
Yeah, but he finally admitted because his mom finally decided to be a person instead of robotic with him, and that left him feeling like, okay, well, she's finally not lying because if we remember from the last season, that's all he did was he was like, y'all, all y'all do is lie.
Yeah,
y'all keep on lying to me. So at this moment, she's being honest. So he's like, okay, well, I guess now I can be honest.
I mean, at the end of the day, he's still a spoiled little rich brat kid. It's like, my parents are lying to me. I mean, nigga, you're 15. You don't need to know about what they do illegally. Like, play your role. Like, that's one thing I don't like about Tasha and Ghost is like, how y'all so calculated, but y'all can't figure out how to control y'all son. You know what I'm saying? Like, handle him. Slap him up.
I don't know if it's that they can't figure out how to do it as much as they feel guilty. So they let him get away with certain stuff. I mean, parental guilt is definitely a thing. So I think they feel like, well, let me just let him get away with stuff because we feel guilty because of what we're doing. Yeah. Which, in turn, you're creating not such a good member of society. So.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Tyreek, I'm hoping maybe, because he did have to shoot Amateur, which was a movie about him playing basketball. Maybe that this is when he goes to this new school. He's not on the show for a while because he was shooting that movie. You know what I'm saying? So maybe this is a way for them to write him off the show for a minute. So
he's too key though for them to write him off the show for a minute because is this season not going to be focused on like him trying to now join the game?
I don't think so.
Make it in the streets? I
don't think so. I think maybe in the future probably, but I don't think this season will be. I think this season's more about the transition of power between, no pun intended, between Ghost and Tommy to Dre, who we're going to talk about here in just a second. Ghost power and Dre, Ghost and the transition of power between Ghost, Tommy, and Kanan is another player on there. So we're trying to see who's like went from Ghost, now it's going to Tommy. And I feel like Kanan is about to take it from Tommy because Tommy's so reckless. If you notice...
And he said that last time that he was trying to take it.
Yeah, right. But I think he's actually going to be able to do it because Tommy... If you notice, Tommy and Ghost are sitting there drinking alcohol and all the while Kanan's sitting there just drinking water. And then Kanan... A lot of people... Everybody is opening up to Kanan, giving him so much information, whether it's...
The only person that don't trust him still is Tasha.
And Tasha even gave him some information, like just her being emotional. That's enough for him to know everything he needs to know about her.
That don't count. She's a woman.
Oh, whatever.
We're emotional. She lost her child, and she knows good and well she wants him dead, and he knows good and well she wants him
But
dead.
see, that's enough for Kanan. You open the door for a guy like Kanan.
But I'm saying, I don't think that that's a secret. Like, I don't think that it was, even at this moment, he has known from jump that he don't want her. I mean, she doesn't want him around. Yeah,
that's fine. But she's giving, because Kanan just sits there and he soaks everything up. Ghost and Tommy telling him everything that he needs to know. Old boy, Dre's right-hand man, opening up to him right away. Kanan playing stupid like, oh, really? He didn't tell you about that? Oh, really? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but he's opening up because, one, he knows Kanan was in charge at one point.
And when it comes to Dre, knows.
And two, I mean, this dude is clearly young and reckless and emotional anyways, because he's like throwing fits left and right. Like, I did this, I took care of it. Why don't you give me credit for it? Oh, you gave my credit to somebody else. Like, I don't. And everybody keeps plugging stuff in his head and ain't doing nothing but making his mouth get tighter. So
yeah, but that's my point. Kanan is playing off of everybody's insecurities and emotions, because he's just jumping from person to person. I'm gonna give you everything I need to know from you. He did it to Dre last season or season before, whenever they had first started showing them two together. Kanan, I think, is probably the smartest character on the show as far as currently. I mean, it used to be Ghost, but Ghost he's lost so much. He's been so sloppy. He's been so blind to the fact that what's going on at home. He's been blind to the fact what's going on in the street. I think he put his blinders on and was focusing on one thing at a time, and ultimately that's what's getting him in so much trouble.
I can agree with that. That I think that they're both probably the two smartest, except I don't know if it's that Ghost has blinders on as much as emotion has come into play. Every time he has messed up, it was love. And again, it's love. Like, that's his one weakness. Angie, it was love. Raina, it's love. Like, I think that's his one weakness. That's the blinders that you're speaking of. But I agree that Kanan is probably one of the more smarter characters on this show. But where at the end, when they talked about they don't want Tommy to be dumb, like they want him to be smart, I find that interesting that they're saying they're writing Tommy to be smart.
Yeah.
Because as a viewer, all I see is that Tommy makes dumb choices.
I mean, honestly, the first smart, well, I won't say the first, but one of the first smart things I see him do was be suspicious of the fact that his dad had a life sentence, but all of a sudden he's out. So I feel like that's a good aspect there. I'm pretty sure we're running out of time, but let's talk about the two characters we hate the most, and that's Angela and Dre. I mean, Angela really didn't do much this episode. She did a lot. I mean, we do hate her though. We do know I feel like, okay, let me take a step back and tell you what Angela did. Angela, she's going into the investigation. She's being investigated, and she actually met a guy from the Washington office who I'm pretty sure is playing her. Angela falling, huh?
I just yawned.
Oh, Angela's falling for the same stuff she fell for with Ghost in the first place. I really feel like this dude is gonna play her.
Yeah, you said when we were watching it that you felt like he was part of the cartel, which was interesting because I definitely didn't think that.
I was joking about him being part of the cartel. I mean, he could be, but I was joking.
He's doing something.
Yeah.
When you said that, I was like, oh, what is that? I don't hate Angela so much right now though, because she is trying to.
Let's move away from not hating Angela.
I just want to say I don't hate her because I feel like she's trying to help. I just want to say that.
I don't think she's trying to help more than she's just trying to cover her own ass. Because I mean, really, that's all she's been trying to do.
Yes and no.
Yeah, old boy from Washington. I guess they smashed. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure he's playing her. Nothing. Oh, she figured out that the girl is part of the cartel. Old boy's sister. Him as a character, I feel like he doesn't trust Dre. And Dre, he's on this episode show how dumb he truly is. Like, they set old boy up to make it look like he killed that the guy that I guess his name is 2-Bit. I think that's his name. The guy that 2-Bit killed last week. And every time the cartel dude asks the new guy a question, Dre wanted to jump in. It's like, my dude, like, you're making yourself look suspicious. Like, why? And he even asked him, like, why every time I ask him a question are you answering? So then he started speaking in Spanish because they know Dre is trying to. I think he knows Dre's covering something up, and ultimately, I think Dre is going to be his own downfall because he's going to have to worry about the cartel, and he's always going to have to worry about Kane and Tommy and Ghost coming on his back because
I think that Dre is showing his lack there of power and control.
Definitely lack of control.
Because when he shut him down, he was like a child in timeout.
Yeah, I guess that's a good way to describe it. I mean,
he doesn't have full control. He always has to do this like, you want to do what I say.
See, that's the thing.
They don't just trust him. Nobody just trusts him.
I think Dre has all the power. He doesn't know how to use his power because he's been given everything he needs to run the city, to run everything. He has everything that Ghost had.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He doesn't lack there of control because nobody was questioning Ghost like that.
Exactly.
They question him all the time. Like, it's like Dre. I can't even like. Dre doesn't have the control like a parent has when they say because I said so and like that's enough.
Yeah.
Like he's always having to explain himself.
Yeah.
And that don't work.
Well, I mean, I have a question though. Is Ghost still running Truth? Because we know that Dre was running it, but Ghost has been in the club. I'm confused. Like
the club is Ghost's club.
I know that,
just
but
had
it's
Dre
like
managing it. But
okay,
Dre ain't managing that club no more.
So when did he stop managing? Is the question because he was definitely managing when he was getting chased down by those dudes, and then because they showed them serving the drugs out of the club this is the first episode. They showed them selling the drugs out of the club.
I don't recall that.
And then fast forward, now Ghost is back in the club. And
I
we know
recall Dre doing crap in the club.
Yeah, on the first episode they showed them selling the drugs in the club. And he was in the club watching it go down. So my question is Ghost running it or is Dre running it? Or when did this transition back to Ghost ever happen? Because for sure Dre was running it at one point. And then
even if Dre was running it doesn't matter. It never was Dre's club.
No.
It was Ghost's club.
Yeah, it's Ghost's club. But my question is, why is Ghost in the club if Dre knows Ghost is after him? Ghost knows Dre is after him. Why are
it's his club?
But at the same time, why are y'all are gonna cross paths? Like what is the?
Well, I think that's his hope, so he can kill him.
Well, but he can't. He knows he can't kill him.
Who knows who can't kill him?
Ghost knows he can't kill Dre.
Why?
Because he knows that he's connected with the cartel. That's in the first episode we gave him the car. Yeah. Well, ultimately, this third episode was another setup episode. Maybe we'll get something next week. It looks like there's gonna be some shooting going down next week. I don't know. All in all, I probably give this episode maybe like a B-, maybe a C+. Because it wasn't bad, it just wasn't good either.
Okay.
So yeah. Well, that's all the time we got. That was Table Rant. And yeah, peace.